You are watching the Midtable and Up podcast highlights. Please put your foot through that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, as well as Spotify and the podcasts app.
Spot is a player that I despise as a person, but I've only got respect for what he did in the Champions League this year. He certainly proved me wrong because I've been talking smack about him for a while now. It's Neymar Jr.
Oh, yeah, as soon as you said you despise him, I thought it would be Neymar.
He's an outstanding player. I think he's in the conversation for lots of off-pitch conversations around.
He loves his sister.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long was that going to take to come up?
All of that shit. But overall, I think I'm not entirely convinced that PSG would have got to the final. Or maybe they would have, but not as comfortable without Neymar. I think he was outstanding, especially in some of those earlier games in the Champions League this year. Yeah, he played people on off the pitch, and he showed really what Neymar can do.
But to be fair, that Bayern Munich team were outrageous.
Yeah.
And yeah, Neymar, he's one of those players, you can't doubt his quality at all. He's definitely up there. And I mean, he's not on my list really. And I did think about him, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, as I go through my list, I'll be able to justify those that I did pick. But yeah, his quality can't be doubted. I just, had they won the Champions League, he probably would have made my list. I will say that, which is maybe a little bit harsh because it is.
But that's sort of how the Ballon d'Or works, isn't it, though? I mean, the player who wins the Ballon d'Or is almost always a player that's won the Champions League. That just tends to be how it goes.
Yeah.
But Neymar is a wonderful footballer. I mean, he started off as a young kid at Barcelona, and he's this show pony, bit tricky, bit flash, doesn't really work hard enough. I think he's added that to his game. You look at him these days, he definitely works much harder. He looks like he's a bit of a driving force in that PSG team, which he wasn't initially. He's a bit kind of on the fringe of it.
The word I would use is, it looks like he's matured a little bit.
Yeah, that is the word.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he can still sort his hair out, but that's a whole other issue. But he looks now like he's prepared to do the hard graft as well as being ridiculously good, which makes him much better.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's my point.
Yeah, and I think he's had a pretty good 2020.
Yeah.
He wins the league.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of a given at PSG, really. I would say that. They're not... Say that, though. I don't think they are top at the minute of League One as the time of recording on the 17th of December, but...
Maybe he's had a shit end to 2020.
Well, he got injured, didn't he? I mean, I think it was a game last week against, I want to say, Lyon. He's hurt his leg, and I think they think he's going to be out for a while, I think, with that one.
Here's a Neymar question for you guys. So, if PSG don't win the Champions League in the time that he's there, has it been a successful stint for him in Paris?
Financially, probably.
Yeah.
Not with the French tax laws, it's not.
Yeah.
I would say no.
Strictly footballing, I would say no. They are the best team in France, by far.
They would win the league without him for certain as well, as good a player as he is.
Yeah, you could take out a couple of...
Yeah.
I think if anything, for the sport of football, it's probably been a shame that he hasn't gone to someone a bit more prominent.
But as you say, if they did win the Champions League, then you'd say it's probably been worth it because he probably would with the Ballon d'Or. And that's why he moved, was to get out of Messi's shadow and win the Ballon d'Or.
Completely.
If PSG win the Champions League, he probably would, but it hasn't happened yet. And I don't see it happening, but I've been wrong before.
No, I know it sounds probably a little bit harsh. I'm just not sure if they have the right mentality for big games, just because in the league, they don't really have crunch games. And then when they do come up against...
I mean, they did make the final, didn't they? I mean, let's give them some credit.
Yeah, I mean...
They beat some good teams to get there.
I'm trying to think on their path now, because they beat Leipzig in the semi-final,
Yeah,
didn't
Leipzig
they?
semis.
I mean, Leipzig are a decent team, but...
They were better last year with Werner and...
Yeah.
Anyway, Neymar.
Neymar, nice one. So, your number 9 then, Simon. Who are you going with?
My number 9 is a teammate of Neymar Jr.'s at PSG. It's Kylian Mbappe.
Snap again. Oh my God.
You need to stop sharing lists before the pod.
Well, I think the thing is, me and George have very similar views on football and have for a long time.
To be fair, I will say this. I will be surprised that my number 8, before I go into it, obviously, my number 8, I will be surprised if either of you two have him on your list at all. So yeah, I feel like number 8 I'll be safely on my own with. But yeah, number 9, Kylian Mbappe. Elaborate, please, Simon.
Yeah, I think similarly to what we've just been saying about Neymar, had he played in a side that won the Champions League, we'd probably been talking about him as a much higher contender on this list. You were just talking about Alphonso Davies of being like a complete player at such a young age. I think Kylian Mbappe is probably the one I'd compare to him in that regard of having kind of that end product at such a young...
As a forwards equivalent, certainly.
Yeah. And he's had another fantastic year when he scored bucket loads of goals, which I know you'd expect him to do. It's France.
But he did win the Golden Boot as well. I know Neymar had a bit of a injury, was it last season as well? But he did still win the Golden Boot, which... he's had to outscore Neymar to do that as well.
It's a bit of an internal competition at PSG, isn't it? I mean, there's not many others who are even in the competition, because obviously Icardi was there as well. So, as you say, all very, very good goal scorers. He's got everything, hasn't he? He's pace, he's powerful, he looks like he plays the game, like, it's so easy for him. And actually, I feel like in a way that sometimes he, like Neymar, needs to try and find, like, his level of graft and grit and grinding stuff out a little bit. I think sometimes he can coast a bit in games.
Yeah.
With Mbappe, I think if he really wants to kick on, and he's still so young, right?
You forget that, don't you? I mean, he's like 21, isn't he? So he's 3 years younger than us.
Absolutely. He's still so young, and he showed so much promise, and I think he's got an amazing career ahead of him. Personally, I think if he wants to go on and play with the best and be a part of the best team for a significant period of history, he needs to leave PSG. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you who that is, because I think there are a couple big teams that you could say...
Well, I know there's rumours of Madrid, isn't there? It has been for a while.
There's rumours of Madrid. He could be instrumental there. He could go to like a prime Liverpool at the moment. He could go to lots of clubs.
Well, he makes every team in the world better.
Yeah, absolutely. A million times.
I'm going to pose the same question to you in regards to the Champions League that I did with Neymar, because obviously... The thing in terms of, does Mbappe have to win the Champions League with PSG in order for you to really be able to call his time there a success? Because obviously Neymar's a lot older than Mbappe. Neymar's, really at that peak of his career now. Whereas, as you said, he's really got to go somewhere else and, do it outside of France effectively. So does that rule apply to Mbappe in the way that we established it applied to Neymar?
For me, no, and the reason for that is he came from Monaco. PSG is a step up from Monaco. The move is upwards. It's an upward trajectory of a career. Neymar's move from Barcelona to PSG is at best sideways, but probably backwards. Yeah. So he needs to progress them forwards, like for that to be a move that is good. Neymar from here he will go to if he goes to Madrid, if he goes to a Liverpool, that's another upward step. And that's just a stepping stone of a career rather than a player in his prime taking a move that's not necessarily the best.
From a career perspective, Neymar, as you said, personally I think it was a step backwards.
I agree.
For Mbappe, at such a young age, he's consistently won the league title. I know we go on about that, but he's been consistently an instrumental part of that. He helped take them to a Champions League final. And lastly, he's a World Cup winner. And it's not like he sat on the bench for that World Cup. He was instrumental in them winning a World Cup. So it's he's done so much at a young age, but like we said, he needs to move on if he wants to be serious.
Certainly, and I do feel like, at least in the long term, having that, I know it's maybe a little bit harsh, but having that World Cup medal, it does elevate your status so much more so that you almost go, all right, if he doesn't win a Champions League at PSG, he's still younger than Neymar. He might still win it at another club if he does make a move. Whereas Neymar obviously did win the Champions League at Barcelona, but you kind of think, oh, come on, you've not... I know they won an Olympic gold medal, and they did, to be fair, win the Copa America, didn't they, Brazil, recently? But again, that World Cup, it's just... It is the be-all, end-all, isn't it, really, in terms of international football, the World Cup. And, yeah, I feel like that World Cup it almost gives you an extra pass if you haven't, maybe won a Champions League. You have got the World Cup to fall back on, which obviously Neymar doesn't have. But no, I think that's... that's our solid choices for number 9 there, Simon, spot on. So That's the final whistle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Midtable and Up podcast. If you enjoy our top 10 lists, please make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Let us know what you would have done differently. If you watch this episode on YouTube, make sure to put your foot through that subscribe button and leave a like on the video, as well as follow us on Spotify, the podcast app, to keep up to date with the series. Thank you very much. See you next time.